Welcome everybody. Today's in the previous classes I have told you and you know good way that brain is divided into three parts. Forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is also divided into three parts. That is olfactory lobe, cerebrum and diencephalon. Okay? And cerebrum is divided into two parts, that is cerebral left hemisphere and cerebral right hemisphere, and each cerebral hemisphere is divided into cortex and medulla, and each cortex has four parts. Okay, that is frontal lobe, temporal lobe, frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe and occipital lobe. Okay, and today we will take the knowledge. This means today is the third lecture of cerebrum, and in today's we will learn about the related activities of motor of areas which is present in the brain, of centers, what is the related activities of that centers, and which areas, which centers is present in the which part of the brain, which part of the cerebral hemisphere. Okay, then comes and know that first, that is the frontal lobe, and in the frontal lobe here you are seeing that four centers, this means four area is present. First, that is motor area. Okay, and function of motor area, that is, this means related activities of motor area, that is regulation of voluntary movement, regulation of voluntary movement. This means this is in our control, voluntary movement, that which can we do, which function in our control, that is voluntary movement. Okay, second, that is the premotor area, and related activities of premotor area, that is regulation of involuntary movement. Involuntary, that is not in our control. Involuntary means function, that type of function which is not in our control. We cannot control that functions. That function is called involuntary. And if which movement we cannot control, that movement is called involuntary movement. Okay. Third area is present in frontal lobe, that is association area, that is also called prefrontal cortex. And what is the function of this? This means related activity of association area, prefrontal cortex, is that for memory. Okay, since association area or prefrontal cortex, that is for memory, creative, learning, ideas, reasoning, speech, for explanation and intelligence. Okay, these all functions is controlled by frontal lobe, and in the frontal lobe by association area. Okay, this means intelligence, speech for explanation, learning power, ideas, This all function is controlled by association area or prefrontal cortex. And fourth, that is the Broca's area. Okay. And what is the related activities of Broca's area? So Broca's area, that is the motor speech area. Okay, that is the center of speech. Broca's area is center of speech. Okay, this means there are four areas present. That is the motor area, premotor area, association area, that is also called prefrontal cortex, and fourth, that is Broca's area, that is present in frontal lobe. Okay, and frontal lobe, that is present in cerebrum. Okay, next, that is the parietal lobe, that is also present in cerebrum, and in the parietal lobe, three centers, three areas is present. First, that is the gustatory area. Gustatory area, its activity of gustatory area is sensory and association for taste. Sensory, sense anything, and association for taste. This is the function of gustatory area. This means activities, related activities of gustatory area. That is the sensory and association area for taste. Second, that is the somaesthetic area. Second area, that is somaesthetic area, that is also somaesthetic area. Okay, second area, that is somaesthetic area, and related activities, this means activities of somaesthetic area, that is the sensory and association area for pain, touch, temperature, and pressure. Okay, for sensory and association area for pain, touch, temperature. Any person touch you, this is sensed by the somaesthetic area. Okay, if any pain is happening in your body, this is also sensed by the somaesthetic area. This means sensory and association area for pain, touch, temperature, and pressure, that is controlled by which centers, which areas of brain, which areas of parietal lobe, the somaesthetic area. Okay, and third, that is the association area. Association area, that is the related activity of association area is explanation, explain, map, dress, sense, and position in space. What is your dress sense? What is your position in space? And also explain, map. This is the control by the association area. Which type of dress you are wearing? What is your dress of sense? This is all is controlled by association area. Okay. And this gustatory area, somaesthetic area, and association area, that is present in parietal lobe. And parietal lobe, that is present in cerebrum. Okay. And third, that is the temporal area, temporal lobe, not area, temporal lobe. Okay. Temporal lobe, that is also present in cerebrum. And in the temporal lobe, also three centers, three areas is present. First, that is the olfactory area. And olfactory area, in the olfactory area, this means in the nasal chamber, isthmian membrane is present. And you know good way that isthmian membrane, that's what is to the cells of smell. This means olfactory area, it's sensory and association for a smell. Which type of a smell this is? This means if you sense type of smell, that this is the good smell, this is the bad smell, and this is the smells of these vegetables, this is the smells of this agarbatti. Okay, so this all is, this means sense and sensory and association of smell. This means sense of smell is controlled by olfactory area. Okay, sensory and association area for a smell, that is controlled by olfactory area. And auditory, this means listening. Okay, auditory area, that is sensory and association area for sound. Okay, auditory area, that is sensory and association area for sound. Okay, and third, that is the vernix area. Vernix area, that is the vernix area, that is the sensory and association area for language. Sensory and association area for speech and express language. Tense, comparison, with comparison of mine to others, with comparison of you to others, I comparison of mine to you. This is the comparisons. This means association, speech, explain language. We explain any language, such as you. Now we are explaining the English to English. Okay, and you are understanding my language to explain Hindi language, English language into Hindi language. Okay, Hindi language to English language. This means we explain any language. Why not English to English, Hindi to Hindi, English Hindi? That is can happen anything. This means we explain language. Okay, this means this vernix area, that is for the sensory and association area for a speech. Okay, explain language, tense and comparison. Okay, these all activities is controlled by vernix area. This means now I am speaking. Okay, and this speaking, this means this speech, that is controlled by vernix area of temporal lobe. Okay, now I am speaking, this speech is controlled by vernix area of temporal lobe. Last, that is the temporal lobe. In the temporal lobe, three areas is present: auditory area, olfactory area, auditory area, and vernix area. Okay, and this is present in the temporal lobe, and temporal lobe is present in cerebrum. Okay. Fourth, that is the occipital lobe. Occipital, from the occipital you can understand that is for the vision. Okay, olfactory for the smell, and occipital for the vision. This means occipital lobe. In the occipital lobe, visual area is present. This means centers, this and area of occipital lobe is visual area. This means in the occipital lobe, visual area is present. Okay, and what is the activities? What is the related activities? What is the functions of this visual area? This visual area, activities of this visual area is sensory and association area for vision. Okay, sensory and association area for vision. I am seeing on this board. I am seeing this frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe. This is all is controlling by the visual area of occipital lobe. You are seeing me, after that you are understanding. This is controlled by visual area. This is the visual area. And visual area, that is the present in occipital lobe. Okay. occipital lobe, that is the present in cerebrum, and cerebrum is the part of forebrain, not frontal lobe. Cerebrum is the part of forebrain. Okay, this means visual area is the part of occipital lobe. Occipital lobe is the part of cerebrum. Okay, and cerebrum is the part of forebrain. Okay, so this all is the lobes, areas, and related activities. What is the activities of which area, and which area is present in which lobe, and that lobe is present in cerebrum, and cerebrum is the part of this is cerebrum is present in forebrain, and forebrain is the part of brain.